Ready.
Okay. Welcome to the Midwest Game Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, John, and here with me today are Brian,
Hey.
Alex,
Hello,
and our special guest, Gojo.
Hi.
Today we've got a handful of news before we jump into some Hitman 2, Fallout 76, Tetris Effect, Battlefield 5, and Pokemon Let's Go. That's a lot. But before we get to all that, if you want to follow us on social media or see other places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. The Midwest Podcast Network now has a Patreon. The Patreon is meant to benefit all the shows on the network. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month and keep our shows alive and well. Check it out at patreon.com/MidwestPodnet. That's MidwestPodnet. And as always, we do appreciate your feedback, which you can send to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch, as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Thanks again to Jason K. and Gojo, the man himself, right here, for their contributions to our Patreon.
Yeah, if you give us money, we'll put you on our show.
Yeah.
That's not true.
No, but
But
we
it
might.
is sometimes.
We could actually. That could be a thing, maybe.
If you give money and also play games that none of them have played, then you get on the show.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that works.
That's the most important.
That's
thing.
the
We
criteria.
need to use you for info.
Yep. So, anyways, Alex, you have a bumper.
Yeah, Horror Movie Yearbook talked about a film called Split Second, which has Rutger Hauer in it. It was a fun discussion. I don't think either of them really loved the movie, but it's been a white whale of Willie's for years, and he finally got to watch it again after a long time because it's on Amazon Prime for some reason. So go listen to that episode. They should have a new one out at the end of this week. Unfortunately, I cannot remember what they were going to talk about. So sit in suspense.
Cool.
And find it out.
I think
this
they're talking
Friday.
about Kyle XY.
No, they're not.
Ah.
Unfortunately, but someday
Someday.
it'll
Don't
happen.
promise me that.
All right. Do we have anything else we want to talk about before we jump? We got a lot of stuff to cover. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot else, so we can just kind of jump into what we've been playing.
Cool. I haven't been playing anything other than Rainbow Six.
Yeah, pretty much, and some of the stuff we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But Gojo hasn't been on and has not been able to express his thoughts on Red Dead 2.
Yes. So yeah, I played Red Dead Redemption 2. There you go. That's my thoughts. I'm one of the few. Yeah. No. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. But let me see. I think really the first thing that still comes to my mind about Rockstar games is why, in the year of our Lord 2018, do I have to push a button to run at like a normal speed? Like, that's the only gripe I really have. Well, no, it's not the only gripe. I'll just get the gripes out of the way right away because I'm sure you guys have said wonderful things already. But I have to hold a button to run, which is absurd. They made a thing that lets you do that. It's called the analog stick. Interesting thing, if you push it lightly, you can walk in most video games.
How would they know how to tick away your stamina meter if you're not hitting a button to do it?
You know, that's a great question, and I'm happy to
That's
work
exactly
with Rockstar to help develop that technology. But other than that, I think really the only problem with it is the controls are kind of wonky, which is another par for the course for Rockstar.
Yeah.
Just like cover mechanics are weird, shooting's a little weird, just moving around. It feels like they put more emphasis on the actual animations for moving than the actual like function of it.
Yeah.
Because they want you to look polished as you're moving around and doing stuff, which you do, and it looks great. It worked, but it's also awkward to control, I think anyway. But yeah, other than that, it's amazing. The world's huge. There's a lot to do. All the hunting and like fishing systems are cool. Just the amount of stuff to do is like dwarfs anything like in GTA 5 even, which is really the closest thing you can compare it to. It's a lot like Skyrim in that it's a huge world and you can kind of partake in the world and do a whole bunch of stuff with it. It's great. Yeah, I don't really have anything more intelligent to say about it other than that.
Brian,
I wasted all my energy on running.
You've played more of it.
Yeah.
So
And I've talked to quite a few people that are playing it, and Gojo's definitely the only one I know that has actually finished it.
yeah.
Most people are not as far as I am, and I'm only at 61% of the story.
Not
which
not
put
the
me-
not
I
the
just
save
started-
file percentage, but the
No.
story percentage.
The save file percentage is close to the same, though.
Okay.
Because I kind of stopped doing side activities.
Yeah.
And started just focusing on the story as much as I can. Except if I see a question mark, I have to go to it because I want to know what's up. And I'm pretty sure some of those are like limited time. So like you have to kind of do them while they're there. Because if you progress the story, they'll go away.
Yeah, I mean, without spoiling too much, I have beaten it, but there aren't a lot, but there are things that you can time out of. It's mainly based on going through chapters, though, too. So when you pass from a chapter to chapter, you can miss out on certain things, mostly camp activities. But when you do beat the game, then there are certain other quests that you can lock yourself out of. Not too many, though, which is nice. I don't feel like I was punished for playing the game to completion. I do wish I had taken more time to do like side quests and even just the basic robbery stuff. Just basically partake in the world while the story was still going on. I think I rushed through the story and didn't miss out on it, but again, without spoiling too much, you get to the end, you're a little less inclined to be a bad guy, I think. So yeah, enjoy it while the story's going on. I would recommend.
Yeah,
Don't
I
rush
mean,
through.
I've definitely done my share of screwing around. I just feel like at this point, if I want to finish it this year, I'm just going to have to just push forward because I do play other games, obviously. And multiplayer is coming out soon-ish, and that's probably going to take up a lot of my time.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. The story's definitely taken some interesting turns, and yeah, it's moving more toward the beginning of Red Dead. I mean,
You see
why
where the pieces are going.
Yes, you see why the story is the way it is in Red Dead 1,
Interesting.
which is cool.
I like the game and I respect it, but I don't love it, and I don't know if there's anything that makes me finish the story. It is feeling like I need to do it before we make Game of the Year lists. Because maybe by the end of the game, I would be like, all right, I really love this, and it's become something that I really... Because I'm still only in, like, Chapter 2.
So you haven't decided that Rainbow Six is your game of the year this year?
It's my game of the... It's 2018's game... It's 2015's game of 2018, I think, is what it is, really. But it's not... It's a separate category.
See, the year 3 is my game of the year.
But it... Like, I don't... I'm sad that I don't feel a pull to even play the game. Like, I don't remember Red Dead 1 feeling like a chore to me. I loved going in there and hunting rabbits and doing things, and I don't like doing any of that.
Did you watch that video? I think Gladish posted it in our chat about how, like, Rockstar with Red Dead is following this, like, 80-second rule where, like, in any given point in the game, you're roughly 80 seconds away from a different event taking place, which is literally twice as long as most other games.
That's interesting.
It was a really cool video to watch where the guy broke down, like, he actually, like, timed out, like, different games where, like, as he's doing things, like, it takes 39.2 seconds to get from this to, like, the next event in a game. And it could be any random event. And, like, in Red Dead 2, you're literally, like, 80 seconds away from any event happening around you.
That's interesting. That's what I want to say, is that I do really respect it, and it feels like an incredibly true to life portrayal of, like, this is what I would, if I lived in the Wild West, I would learn about people in this way, and it wouldn't be extremely exposition-y, and I wouldn't, like, you would just have relationships with these people and be learning about them over time, but I don't have the time to live an Old West lifestyle in my current life, that kind of just makes it feel like I'm doing homework to play Red Dead 2.
So you haven't spent a lot of time chopping wood for your camp, then?
No.
Just me?
I have pet a lot of dogs, but that's
spent
about
like
it.
the whole game just doing chores for the camp. Like, I'm here for you. No, there. I kind of agree. Like, I respect what I respect the decisions they made. They're not what you would expect from, like, a major AAA game like that. They're not always the most compelling, though.
Yeah.
and I think the compelling comes from the story's pretty compelling, more so than honestly most Rockstar games. I'm usually not that pulled into them, but I think the dicking around is the most compelling part of it. You kind of just have to say nuts to what I'm supposed to do and tie somebody up and leave them on the train tracks.
Well, and that'd be great, except like if I was trying to do that in
What?
the. I like the problem is that, as we've stated several times, and many other people have talked about on different podcasts, the idea that like these Rockstar, like the story missions in a Rockstar game are meant to be played in a very particular way, and if you don't play them the way they want you to play them, you immediately go to a fail state, and it kind of sucks. Like I wish it was a little bit more fluid, and which is something I know you complained about or you didn't like about the heists and the GTA Online stuff. So I don't know. I think it's great, and I think they put a lot of hard work into it, and I think it really shows, and I think it's an accomplishment, and I think it's something very different than what we have in video games nowadays, but I don't know that it's something that I want out of video games now or in the future.
Yeah, like it's easier for me to say what I don't like about this game in particular, but also a lot of Rockstar stuff, because it's usually just it's so good just across the board usually that it's easier to pick out the things that they don't do well. And I think they have a tendency they want to make movies that are games instead of always make the games. So that's when you get missions that are, that Call of Duty style, just go to this point and do the thing we tell you. Instead of just kind of embracing their open world nature and letting you kind of do things your own way.
Yeah.
Which, when you're playing the story missions, that's a problem, but the rest of the game is the exact opposite. So it's kind of weird, really.
Yeah.
Like, they can hit both ends of the spectrum in the same game.
Yeah. Any rebuttal, Brian? I can't get a read on like if you agree with my feelings or not. I don't think you do, which is fine. But
no, I mean, I like the deliberate pacing of it and just all the mundane things you do. My only issue is having been in the world so long now, like when I have to go to a new area and then I need to get back to where I was, just how long it takes. Like I'm kind of over the long horse ride, horseback rides all the way back to where I need to go.
It almost feels like padding and not like it's not intentional gameplay. Like it's just kind of like
it's like you've put 70 hours into the game and 60 of it was spent riding a horse.
Yeah, like how much would this game be if it was more concentrated and focused and
like I feel like it should have came with like a thing of chewing tobacco so you could just like chew it,
develop your habit
chew
as you
some
play
dip
the game.
like while you're because really sink you into the role. I feel like
what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I just like in the first half or so of the game, the journeys were not a problem for me because that was part of the fun, like all the cool things that would happen along the way and just the optional stuff that would distract me. But now that I've been in the game so long and I want to work toward finishing it, it feels like a chore having to ride that far all the time.
Makes sense.
That's my issue. Like I feel like I understand why fast travel isn't easy in that game. Oh, yeah. Another problem I have is I can't use the stagecoaches at all because I have outstanding bounties everywhere. So really, I have to get lucky and find a train unattended like I did the one time, or wait forever for a train to show up, or I have to ride, and that's a hassle.
Yeah.
You could have paid down the bounties.
No, that's stupid.
I want outlaw lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Any final thoughts on Red Dead?
I'm excited to see the online.
Yeah,
we've beaten this horse to death.
As John is wont to do.
Yep.
All right.
That'll be number 4.
Anybody else been playing anything? I
No,
think
let's just jump into news.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got the Story So Far collection or whatever.
Yeah, with like everything.
Yeah, I only played the Kingdom Hearts that I already played. No, that's not true. I started Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm actually glad I didn't play this when it came out.
I have not replayed Kingdom Hearts 2 since it came out. I have
I'm-
replayed Kingdom
I'm
Hearts
sure
1
it gets
several
worth
times.
it at some point, but
It
literally
does
the
when you
first-
get to the OG Tron world, and then
Okay,
you
there we
can
go.
quit
Because like the
game
first
after that.
5 hours was tutorial.
Oh,
like,
it's
give me a fucking break. I
Like
just
Red
played
Dead.
the first one.
that was the biggest
Lord.
complaint about that game was
Ugh,
the opening
God.
section. So
The opening year. Jesus. Yeah, I started playing it in 2016, kids. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
all right, let's talk about some news. Microsoft had XO 18 this past week or weekend,
Yeah,
the
something
weekend
like that.
before, which was their kind of it's their version of PSX that they used to do back when like the OG Xbox and the 360 were, big things. But basically, there were some other announcements. Crackdown supposedly has another release date that it's not going to make, and they're giving away Crackdown 1 on the Xbox One, I believe, and it has been
Oh, really?
enhanced for the Xbox One X, so that's cool. But the biggest news was that Microsoft is acquiring Obsidian Entertainment and In Exile Entertainment, makers of Fallout New Vegas, South Park Stick of Truth, Pillars of Eternity, and Knights of the Old Republic 2. So they keep adding to their stable of companies to...
Yeah. It seems like they want a really good exclusive RPG. That's just what I'm guessing.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of... and like some of those games, not so much, but these two studios seem to be very PC focused as well, and one of the things that came out in like a recent earnings call was that they want to make their PC Game Pass offerings better. So that might be a way to do it, is buying these guys.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons I even ventured into console gaming, because I was like a diehard PC gamer, is Mass Effect. Like, I bought a 360 because I wanted to play Mass Effect mostly.
Yeah. So, no, it's cool. Awesome for Microsoft. They continue to be doing cool things.
Indeed.
So,
PUBG's coming to PS4 December 7th. That's just around the corner,
yep.
and nobody cares.
All right, next.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
pretty
else?
much.
What else? Oh, Smash Brothers comes out on the same day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So nobody cares
Bye.
for real.
I get to play as Snake again. That's literally the only thing I'm going to care about.
Yep.
Even Pearl Harbor can go away. I just want to play as Snake.
It's old news anyway.
Yeah.
Brian, you posted that Command & Conquer and Red Alert Remastered are being developed by former Command & Conquer devs.
Yeah, I think that's the only new part of this whole thing is it's been confirmed that Petroglyph, I think, Studios is making it, and that is made up of some of the old
Westwood.
devs of the original Command & Conquer games,
Yeah.
which I always really enjoyed. Like, they were definitely... I mean, I was more of a Blizzard guy. Like, I preferred the Warcraft games and
Yeah.
StarCraft because they're tighter. More like they're way better balanced,
Mm-hmm.
and had cooler stories. But Command & Conquer had its own charm with the cheesy like FMV videos, and like,
those were great.
they were a blast to play multiplayer. We used to we would always play some form of Command & Conquer, like whatever was current at the time when we used to do LAN parties.
The only thing I remember from Command & Conquer was the silos, like, filling with green stuff, and that was cool. I never played them myself,
Well,
but...
when they come out with these, you should give it a try.
Yeah, I totally would. That would be awesome.
Red Alert especially was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was probably my favorite. That was like a alternate history kind of thing.
I wonder what they're going to do with the FMV, though. Like, is it going to remain intact? Like, how...
They just need to reuse the same stuff from before.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
because
just playing on, like, a
remaster it.
CRT.
Because it's just like
Oh
the remade voiceover in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Like, don't do that. Like, just leave it be, not only for the nostalgic factor, but so you can have like a whole other generation of gamers that will have appreciation for that kind of nonsense.
Well, but part of me is like, well, it would be kind of cool if they went back and got the people who did it. But I think one of the characters is played by like Kerry Russell and like other people who have become much bigger than Command and Conquer FMVs.
I'm sure that's exactly what she wants to do.
She'd probably be
Now
like,
that
you
the
know what,
Americans is over.
that's pretty great. Yeah, I don't know, but you know,
She's gonna be in the new Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
She's gonna be like, no, fuck it, I want to do Red Alert again.
sorry,
Bye.
Star Wars.
I give it up.
More Kerry Russell isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with that.
Bye, Felicity.
I honestly don't remember her being part of it.
I think I don't know where in the
We could just be
timeline it
making
could be.
this up.
Yeah,
Could they
I
just
don't
get
know.
Billy D back in? I mean, just only bring back Billy D. Williams. I don't remember which one he was in. But
I
make him do
forgot he was in
everything.
it too.
They got a lot.
Are you
of,
sure you're
like,
not talking about a
D-name talent?
Colt 45 commercial?
I'm also talking about that, but he
Works
was
every
also,
time.
He was also in some Command and Conquers.
Good to know.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll have to check it out when it comes out. That'd
Yeah.
be sweet. No indication of like a release date as of yet, but it sounds like
But
they're
it's happening.
well on their way. So, and it's cool that they have the old team, some of the old people working.
Yeah.
Big bombshell happened this week.
Sony's not attending E3.
Yes.
It's dumb.
Sony says, fuck you, I'm going home to the gaming press, kind of. But
Yeah, pretty much. Not really though. I mean, what did we talked about this for a little bit in the
yeah,
chat.
I mean, there's been no real indications as to why they are doing, but that like the only official statements have been that they will not be giving a press conference and they will not have booths at E3. Those are the two main takeaways from the news that came out. But other than as to why they are doing that, nobody really knows. I mean, if you think about it right now, what's on the plate for Sony? They've got Death Stranding, they've got Days Gone, they've got The Last of Us 2. I'm not sure which of those are coming out next year.
Probably all of them.
I would maybe
So maybe
think
that's why they're not going, because they have nothing to show for
Because-
the next year.
yeah, because everybody's seen enough of those things. Like Greg Miller was talking about some stuff, and I saw some people on Twitter that's like, if I need to watch another fucking Death Stranding trailer, I'm not going to play the game ever. And I kind of agree. I don't need to see any more of it. I also know what The Last of Us 2 is. I knew what it was when you said, hey, we're making The Last of Us 2.
Oh, it's
So-
a sequel to The Last of Us. I'm pretty
Exactly.
Sure.
The Laster of Us.
Yes, the more Last of Us. But it's not,
the
like-
first of them.
It's two like TOO, right?
yes, The Last of Us 2. Like,
Last
look
of
who's
Us also.
talking too.
Yes.
But it's not.
Hey, I'm a baby.
Look at me, I'm a killer.
So it's not surprising. Like it's kind of weird because it doesn't feel like they have a lot going on, but they don't really need to because they're surviving and thriving on third party and their stuff.
Well,
Like, they had a good year too.
they
Like,
released all those stats. Like, is a picture of those stats in here?
I'm not sure if it is or not. It was the 5th birthday of the PS4 this week.
Yeah, the 13th, I think is, or 14th.
I was really curious about that toothbrush.
The Quip
The-
toothbrush.
the- we're not-
They're
we-
not.
we're
We're not
not
sponsored by
sponsored by
them, so we
Quip,
can't
so-
talk about that.
Quip can fuck off.
Yeah. So, 86 million PS4s have been sold. Over 777.9 million units of software have been sold. And there's a whole bunch of different stuff.
How are 2 Call of Duties in the top 5? Like,
Have
what?
we not evolved?
2 Call of
like, as a
Duties,
culture to
2
the point we don't do
FIFAs.
that anymore?
2
I
Call of
just
Duty,
can't
2
even-
FIFAs, and Grand Theft Auto 5, which
Yes.
has been like constantly selling. Like it's in the NPDs every week. It feels like.
I have to admit, like at least $500 for GTA 5 is from me. I'm not proud
Thanks
of that.
a lot. Now it's in that top 5 because of
Well,
you.
that wasn't like money spent. You're not buying the game over and over.
I bought the
again.
game 3 times.
Well, okay. All right.
And then like 4 or 5 megalodons, and I get sick every time I think about it.
You're the
3
reason.
times.
You're
You
the
have it on
reason.
PC too?
No, I
Oh.
bought it. I bought it for my brother, and then I bought it
Oh, okay.
for me on 360, I think, and then I bought it on PS4.
Yeah.
Uh,
no one should ever give me money. I don't do anything good with it.
So Sony says they've sold they sold in 86 million plus units. If you go to VGCharts.com, which is not the most accurate and prettiest website, but there's like 39.4 million Xbox Ones out there. So Sony's way in the lead of the console race for this generation, at least. So the fact that they're kind of like, we don't need you anymore, E3, like, that's also kind of been a sentiment going around in press circles. People like Giant Bomb, Waypoint, like I've heard them talking about like these like with the internet and its modern form and streaming and things like that, E3 isn't necessary because the companies themselves can just go straight to their base and their audience and talk to them that way. So you don't need to disseminate information altogether. You don't need to gather all of the gaming press in one area at once because you can take your message to them with the internet.
I get that outlook on it, but like my issue is I personally don't like having to follow news constantly. Yeah, I mean, I should follow it. I do follow it constantly. Okay. But I mean, I don't want to look forward to a press conference every 2 weeks or something. Like, I don't want that to happen. Like, oh, Sony's things this week, Microsoft's is a couple weeks after that. And it's just like a constant bombardment of press conferences all year. I'd rather just have that all at once in fucking July or whenever.
I feel like we're getting beyond press conferences as a whole. I mean, unless Sony wants to go out and just announce here's the next 5 projects we have, then maybe they want to do something special. But like you said, you could just plop it online. You can send out an e-blast or whatever to to all your news retailers.
The Nintendo Direct model.
Yeah.
I think media as a whole is just changing so much. So I mean, there's not really a need for an actual live on-site massive press event.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot cheaper for one and easier to just tell people.
Put out a YouTube video.
Yeah, throw it online. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is that like Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo command their own stage, and their news is going to get out there one way or another. They have people who can do that for them. They have people that can get in touch with IGN and GameSpot and all the different outlets. The thing that sucks the most to me is what happens with the littler guys, like the people, the indie showcases were some of the like highlights of PlayStation and Microsoft conferences and things like that.
But I think you'll still see those.
Well, you will still see them, but it, like the fact that there was like this curation of like you look at the Nintendo eShop nowadays on the Switch, and there's 70 games that come out every week, and all of them look like garbage. Like it's nice when somebody,
because everybody on the Game Maker forum on Reddit's like, I made a game and now it's on Switch.
It's called "Don't Click This Button." You should find out what happens if you click the button.
And
though.
It's $99.
But yeah. So, but the thing is, the other thing, Greg Miller of Kind of Funny came out and was like, "We know that there's no PSX this year. If any indies out there want to give us your trailer to show, we're going to do a game showcase on this day." And apparently there's like 60 people that contacted him to be like, we want to show a trailer on your thing. So there's still people out, like the niches are getting filled anyway.
Yeah, but so I think if they do follow like the Nintendo Direct model, I think what you'll end up seeing is instead of like having this big press conference where you shove a bunch of indies right in the middle, and then you've got those bookended by bigger named releases that are going to take all the attention. Is you'll get one episode PlayStation Direct that's dedicated to indies that everyone's like, holy crap! Like, look at all these great independent games that are coming out, as opposed to like, oh yeah, that's a cool looking independent game, but let me see 6 more Death Stranding trailers. Like,
that's true, because Nintendo does do like normal directs and Nindies directs. That are just
and so
things,
and that's the thing is, I think the success of those, they must know how many people tune into the Nintendo Directs and see like Sony's got to know like, okay, like people pay attention to this crap. Maybe we should follow that model.
Yeah, it's not surprising, but it feels like
It's
the end of an
definitely-
era for Sony
Yeah.
to be like, we don't need to go to E3
Well, yeah,
anymore.
because fake news. I mean, everything's fake news. So even if they had a press conference, all the media is just going to be like, no, it's all lies. None of it's true. It's all fake, and we're the truth. And Donald Trump says that you shouldn't pay attention to us anyways.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
Fake news.
All right.
It's all fake. Everything's fake.
Cool.
Where's Donald stand on Call of
Then
Duty?
why are we doing news?
Because we need to be fake too.
'Cause,
Hey,
yeah,
everybody at home, don't listen to us.
status quo.
All right.
We're lying.
And there was one final piece of news that came out. We're not going to go over all of the nominees, but the nominees for the Game Awards are out there. The Game Awards will be taking place in December, live on December 6th. I think there was something like 40 different streaming partners. There's going to be tons of different places to watch it on. I assume Twitch is probably one of those, if not YouTube Gaming and Mixer and whatever you want to do it on. I'm sure you'll get prizes for Forza or Sea of Thieves if you watch it on Mixer like you did for XO18 or whatever. So, yeah, but all the nominees are on the website. Just go to thegameawards.com, check that out. And when the winners come out, we'll probably go more in
We'll talk
depth.
about it.
So,
But will it be
Indeed.
fake news? I mean,
It's
you've
all fake.
introduced,
Yes,
you've
it'll be
introduced a
fake.
new ripple here. Right?
we're just going to announce what we thought should have won.
Skyrim.
Skyrim is the game of 2018.
All categories.
I mean, it's come out multiple times every year since
That's
it
true.
came out. So
Maybe the Amazon Echo version of it
yeah.
they put out this year can win. So, yep.
Cool.
All right.
Let's talk games. Gojo,
yes.
what's up with Hitman 2?
All right. So this is basically all me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
We'll
to
ask-
put a
we'll
lot of
ask
pressure on
questions.
you.
Just we'll ask some questions, and then you can start how do you feel about Hitman 2?
I love it.
Yeah.
I expected to maybe just play it a couple times and then kind of switch back and forth between this and Red Dead, but it's eaten up literally all of my time since it came out. It's fantastic. It's important to note though it's essentially Hitman Season 2 more than it is Hitman
Right.
2. I think that's an important wrinkle because when you put just 2 on there without really a qualifier, a lot of people expect
Bigger, better.
like more of a sequel and less of it's basically the same game as Hitman 1 but with like all new levels and stuff. There's not really a lot of new mechanics or new gameplay wrinkles to it, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Hitman,
because they kind of nailed their format with the first one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Hitman 1 is just phenomenal as it is. Really all you would want from it would be more and different levels.
Right.
Which are really the big draw of it anyway. It does kind of you can kind of see the effects of the IO sale, or I don't really know all the details on what happened there, but Square Enix, did they sell IO or did they
I think they just
dump it?
released them and gave
Yeah.
them Hitman, and we're like, here you go away.
Yeah, so you can see that it mainly in the cutscenes that they're working on maybe a lesser budget, particularly because the cutscenes are basically just
They're FMV. Carrie Russell's in them.
Billy
Except
D.
she-
Williams is
she
everyone.
keeps talking about Command and Conquer. The
Yeah,
whole
Billy
it's
D.
really
Williams
strange.
is Hitman.
I thought
Also,
I thought it was Timothy Oliphant.
the
Mhm.
resolution of the video is actually
It's-
it's just a postage stamp on
Yeah.
TVs now. But anyway, sorry.
It's blurry as hell. Yeah, there's horribly green screen backgrounds. But I mean, that's such a non-factor in a Hitman game, really.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Really, the best part, the thing you need from a new Hitman game is like crazy and involved levels, and these really top themselves from the last one. There's one that happens at like a racetrack in Miami. There's like a race going on, and there's like a genius inventor who has like his own little personal expo going on, and he can show you his inventions, and you can kill him with them. My favorite kill on that map was I disguised myself as a pit crew for one of the race drivers and did a really bad job, and she died on the track.
Oh,
Yes, that's like my favorite way to kill someone is just by doing a normal job but poorly.
well, that happens in real life all the time.
Oh yeah. It's perfect. And then my second favorite is to slip rat poison into their drinks and then drown them when they're throwing up. Like I've done that like 30% of my kills are that. So
So what are your thoughts on OSHA? I'm just curious.
It's unnecessary.
Unnecessary
go.
regulation.
Yeah.
So one of the things you did say and that I've heard is that if you own Hitman 1 and in any of the different forms, you can download all of the levels. They kind of remastered them
Yes.
with the color, because there's like tall grass and reflections are the two new like mechanic things that are in the game.
Yeah, basically the new stuff is you can like take cover in tall grass.
Ooh, Assassin's Creed.
Well, and Snake Eater, but we're not going to go there. That's fine. Like there are reflections now, which I haven't really run into that yet. Maybe because I'm just
They're too
super good
busy
at this
throwing
game.
up it with the rat
You
poison.
mean-
Yeah,
they don't
they're
see
not
you in
looking
the
at
mirror.
mirrors when they're
They
throwing
can't
up the
see
rat
the
poison.
reflection of you in the water in the toilet.
By then, it's too late.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And they brought back the briefcase, which is actually really fun. So it's just an item that you can. It's basically like you can put contraband in the briefcase and smuggle it places, which is helpful. I always just put a sniper rifle in there, and then I never use it because I'm like, how can I shoot this person?
Guns are dumb.
That's the thing, though. I'm like, can I shoot this guy, or is there a better way to do it?
Rat poison.
Like drowning him in his own vomit and toilet water, which is really, I mean, how can you beat that?
Can you
do you beat that?
fill the briefcase with rat poison?
Yes,
Can you
actually.
fill the briefcase with toilet water?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Can you vomit into the briefcase?
Not yet. I haven't tried eating the rat poison, but I don't think
Okay.
that's a thing you
Okay.
can do. But yeah, so basically, if you already own Hitman, yeah, now you've got the same game that's twice as long. Replaying some of the levels is kind of a chore because a lot of your achievements don't carry over from the first one, so you kind of have to replay to get a lot of the items, which is good from a game perspective because if you just started Hitman 2 with all the stuff you got from Hitman 1, then like
The challenge would be gone.
yeah. But it's still fun to go back and play all those levels again.
And also, if you don't own the first game, you can get all of that for $20
$20, yeah.
if you buy Hitman 2, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And that's Hitman. That's all the original Hitman levels, and then they released a couple more over time
Mhm.
as part of Hitman. So those all just
Yeah.
came free. So there's like maps that have like 3 totally different layouts and missions for them. And that's all in there. And yeah, just $20 or you already own it. So it's totally worth it. I'm sure some people will be upset that there isn't much of a change as far as like mechanics or it doesn't feel very sequel-y. It doesn't really even look any better.
But that's
but
the thing.
it
I
looked
mean,
amazing to begin with. So screw those people.
much like I'm going to talk about Destiny, but like Destiny 1, they got to a point where the game was great, and then they changed all that great stuff in Destiny 2, and Destiny 2 sucked. Like,
Kind of,
why?
if it ain't broke, don't
like
fix
if
it.
And they
And-
changed it again, and it's awesome now.
But I mean, I give IO, right? It's IO.
Yeah.
So
IO Interactive.
give them some credit for like recognizing that they had a system that worked, and they don't want to mess it
Yeah,
up.
rather than
Yeah.
trying to validate getting a 2 on your game because people think that you need to have a drastically different game for a sequel, they just said, "Hey, this game is basically perfect the way it is."
Yeah,
Let's
and
just
not
make more
not
of it."
having Square like as oversight,
Right.
on them. Like they can do what they want with it, and they chose to not update it that much.
The other thing about it is, like, because of this weird transition out of Square, that was kind of like we were doing this episodically previously. Maybe they were planning on doing season 2, and this is what all of that content probably would have been.
Yeah.
Now they had to like get it all together and group it into one package to sell it in like a non-episodic kind of way. Like, I don't know. It was a really it's probably one of the most successful episodic games that ever came out.
I'd have to think so, yeah.
And to kind of transition away from that shows you that, like, yes, it's more of the same, but it's like it would have just come out as like, this is your slow trickle of more Hitman stuff that you will still enjoy just as much, that you put down for a couple weeks and then you come back when a new map is out.
Yeah.
The fact that it's all together in one.
But do you feel like the episodic nature of the first one kind of hurt its sales in general, or no?
Maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. I think
Yeah.
it was pretty successful. I know a lot of people didn't like the episodic part of it.
That's
But
what I was gonna say is like because I think of like the binge watch nature that we're all in right now, thanks to
Yeah.
Netflix and crap like that. Like I would much rather just have the whole game up front and be able to play it all like through and through.
I think the problem with that, particularly for Hitman, is you could just play through every level once and be like, all right, I beat the game.
Yeah.
Whereas when every level came out once a month, you're like, okay, I have this level.
You played
I'm
through
gonna
it
play
like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, there's so much to do. There's so many different ways to do just the one mission they give you, and then with the contracts mode, you can make your own. And then they throw in little submissions. Like there are missions where you have to do the same contract 5 times in a row, but every step they add a little complication to it.
Okay, that's cool.
Called escalations. There was one I just had to steal this sniper rifle and shoot 2 guys far away. The next step I had to I couldn't be caught doing anything illegal or the mission would fail. And then the third step I had to kill like 5 more guys. So and it's just little content like that where they're not giving you new maps, but all the maps are so dense and so just so well designed that you could play the same map and do 50 different missions on it.
Right.
And still feel like you totally got, you played one map, but you got your more than your money's worth. With the episodic nature, you're kind of forced to do that, whereas when you're kind of forced to play everything a little more often so you can play the game, and then you get more out of each level, and then the next map comes along and you do the same thing again. So, like, I don't necessarily know that I'm going to be playing this as long because of that, because I just got it all in up front.
But they are still doing some live events. Like this weekend, you can kill Sean Bean.
Yeah, it's actually coming up Tuesday.
Okay.
That's
I
what
thought it was this weekend. I was very excited for it. But yeah, so they there
do
are
elusive targets.
Elusive targets. Yeah, there's just a limited time window you can hunt specific targets on specific maps, and they're really cool.
And it's just an additional challenge, like added to the level, as opposed.
Yeah,
like
they just drop.
There's a normal story like mission that you're on, but then there's also this elusive target that you can hunt as like a side mission within that mission.
That's well, it's within that map, but it's its own mission.
Gotcha.
Like you pick that from the main menu.
Okay.
Like I want to kill Sean Bean, or in the first game, I want to kill Gary Busey. Not like Gary Busey as a character. It's Gary
literally
Busey.
Gary
Literal
Busey.
Gary Busey. And he's
because it was either going to be Gary Cole or Gary Busey.
Yeah.
And who wants to kill Gary Cole?
Why would you kill Gary? I mean,
I'm
I
not going
did.
to kill Birdman.
I killed him.
I assume they have to
But
sign
because he
off
was
on
there.
this in
Yes.
some way.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. They I remember for the Garys they did like a internet poll. It's like they did a commercial with each of them, like kill me, no, kill me, and then everybody, of course, voted for Gary Busey.
I didn't realize that like the Hitman franchise was so tied into real life.
It's not.
This is a new thing. I've never killed Gary Busey in any other Hitman game.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean they're using real people
Yeah.
and like their likenesses, and that's pretty cool.
With the elusive targets, there is you do get like you will unlock items with those, right? That are like
The score you get on those maps goes towards the overall level mastery.
oh, okay.
So like every level has its own set of achievements or like challenges you can complete for experience for that level. And as you master a level, as you level up those masteries, you get like new drop points where you can smuggle stuff in, or new spawn points where you can spawn in like as a garbage man on a level, and you're in that costume already, so you don't have to get that.
That's cool.
And like new weapons and stuff. So it really, you're really supposed to play every level multiple times so you can get new tools and tackle everything else in different ways. So they've just masterfully managed to work out a system where you can wring every possible like minute of gameplay out of just what's basically like 5 levels.
See, and that's cool. That's a company that cares that their customer base is getting their money's worth, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean they could pump out like,
Which, I mean, again, going back to like the episodic things, sorry to interrupt, but like I feel like when things come out episodically like that, I feel like somehow I'm being milked for extra money when like I could just wait for the whole thing to come out and like it's cheaper for some reason, you know?
Yeah.
So like that's, again, you've got a company here who's like releasing content in a manner that like they want to make sure that people feel as though they're getting their money's worth, and that's admirable in my opinion. So
yeah, they I mean there's so much game in what doesn't seem like the biggest package, and that's really the coolest thing. Where you could play a game like, well, I can't really think of anything in particular, but
Like
games
Destiny, where you have to keep giving them more money.
like Grand Theft Auto, where you have to buy shark cards.
Yeah, it's
actually,
a necessary
to get the shit you
part
want.
of it.
Yeah, to get one car, spend $50.
You could just play every day, all day for 2 months or something.
And also somehow talk all your friends into playing every day for 2 months and getting all that money, because we all have that kind of
Just
time.
put
right?
bounties on each other and take each other's money.
I can't believe how much money I spent on that goddamn game. But no, it's like these two games in particular, because they're the same game, really. Hitman 2016 and Hitman 2018.
Yeah.
They're the best Hitman has ever been.
Nice.
It could probably get better, but who knows?
But it doesn't necessarily need to.
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's without, like, I don't think without major changes, like for instance, like a co-op or something, I don't think it's gonna really get much better than this.
Right on.
So they have actually introduced that sort of. There's like a specific sniper level where it's the same deal. You have targets to kill throughout the map, but you're basically just sniping. And you can do it single player, or you can actually do co-op, where you got 2 snipers on the level and you have to pick guys off. And the challenge is kind of to do it still silently. So like shooting guys into pools so that nobody finds them, or shooting like propane tanks so there's an explosion and nobody thinks, oh, there's somebody shooting at us. So there's still a bit of that Hitman to it, where it's not just shoot game. There's also it's a beta mode right now. It's called Ghost Mode, which is like it's competitive actually. They give you random targets on the same map, and you're each in your own little universe, but you have to race to kill your target faster than the other guy.
Can you
That's
see
cool.
a ghost image of
Yes.
your
I think
opponent?
so, yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
And you get ghost coins, which you
Yeah.
can use to tip the NPCs off to the other person's presence.
That's interesting.
That sounds
you
really
can throw a
fun.
coin into their like universe basically.
Yeah.
To distract guards to
Wow.
find them.
Yeah.
That's a really cool element.
Yeah.
Like I would love it. I would love to see that mode develop, even though I'm not really a competitive player very much. I think it's a great idea. So
I just want to
more
watch
stuff
you
like
and
that.
Rick play it.
Oh my god, we just shit on each other. I want to see a co-op.
Yeah.
Like even if it's just 2 like shittier hitmen that aren't like as good as 47, so maybe they don't have the same skills.
43 and
There's like 12 and
12.
and 5 3/4, and they have to.
69 and 420.
Oh man, you can poison people with weed in the game too. You can find like little joints and like slip frog poison in them.
That's awesome.
I killed a drug lord by poisoning his cocaine with the venom from a frog. Not venom, toxin, but it's great.
Nice.
Best.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah, don't do drugs, kids, particularly if they have frog poison in them. But yeah, like if you had
That's why it's important to freebase out there, kids.
exactly. But yeah, if you had like a co-op mode, I feel has legs.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's something I would like to see from like every game. But,
Yeah.
Hitman. Beautiful.
hits people.
Hitman 76.
Right on.
I really do feel like there's not enough good co-op games.
That intrigues me to buy this though. Like hearing. I mean that. Gojo, you do this thing where you make every game you play sound like the best game ever.
I always feel like
Did
I'm
IO
never doing
give you
them
money?
justice. What's that?
Did IO give you money?
Yeah. Have you
They
been
gave
paid?
me a reason to wake up in the morning.
There you go, man.
So I can kill people.
But I still I played the Hitman the first season demo on my computer, and it's fucking intense. Like it is
Yeah.
it is a very
oh
intense
God.
game, and like you have to be very patient. And
Oh yeah.
I am not a patient person. Like I mean, my Rainbow Six play shows. Like I'm the one who's peeking every doorway and like running out in places I don't need to, and so it's a very difficult game for me to play personally. But hearing all these different additives that things they added the tall grass and the reflections and like different ways of poisoning people and whatever, like that's all really cool. The fact that I can buy the new one and get the old one at a discount makes me want to do that and then play through all of it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. If you ever had any interest in Hitman, this is the game to play. I know.
right on.
Like people would always go back to like Blood Money as like the one, but like this series, these 2 games. Basically, I could say play these, and you don't really need to play any other Hitman.
Yeah.
Not that they're bad; they're just it took so long for them to polish the games. Like
Yeah, they were
the
janky.
earlier ones are janky and like barely playable sometimes.
I only played
Um,
like the original ones because there was nothing else like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There were no other games that let you be a hitman
yeah.
and gave you like multiple routes to complete
Yeah, and if
your
they did, it was
mission.
just basically another first-person shooter.
But
or
yeah,
something.
they
It didn't
were
really-
Yeah, thanks
very
Tipper Gore.
unpolished. The ragdoll physics were hilarious
Oh my
though in
God.
those games.
in Hitman, in Silent Assassin, the actual second one, you could.
Yeah.
There was a nail gun cheat where you could shoot guys and they would go flying and staple to the wall. But so you know how like people play like the one I always hear is Oblivion, or like you step out and there's just this whole world to do things, and they get so overwhelmed they just turn off the game.
Yep.
Like I can't do that. That used to be me with Hitman. It still kind of is. Like I'll step into a new level and I just understand that there's so many possibilities that I couldn't possibly make a decision right off the bat.
It's like
on
real
how to
life.
attack it. Exactly.
I'm
yeah.
always paralyzed by
Yeah.
indecision.
Yep.
Where the 2016 did this, and this one still does. They have what used to be called opportunities, but are now mission stories, where they'll basically kind of guide you through an assassination. They don't. It's a little handholdy for Hitman, but if you're intimidated by everything, it's a great thing to you. So you can just
Okay.
you'll walk up to somebody who's having a conversation in the world, and if you eavesdrop on them, they can give you like an avenue to perform an assassination. And if you follow it, it'll give you like waypoints to go to a place, and it'll be like get a disguise. And they won't tell you how to do it. Like they'll highlight some guy who has the disguise you need, but he'll be like in a crowded room, so you can't take him out. So you have to. There's still some. You still have to kind of make your own way.
Yeah.
But it's a good guide if you're intimidated by it, to kind of get your
Cool.
feet wet, and then you can work your way up to do it however you want without any kind of guide. So that was a great addition that I'm sure hardcore. Oh, this is fucking stupid. Hand-holding bullshit. Yeah, it's no real Hitman. Real Hitman is where you fail if you run into a wall or something. I don't know. I don't know. People who get up in arms about Hitman stuff probably need more of a life. But no, yeah, I can't recommend it enough.
Right on.
It sounds
Very
like a good jumping on,
Yeah.
especially if you can play. I have the PS4 version on disc, so if you did
Oh,
buy it
really?
on PS4, either of you, we could probably get you the $20 stuff for
that'd
free.
be sweet.
So
Very cool. Brian, why don't you talk about Battlefield?
It's Battlefield 5
Yeah.
or V,
V.
Battlefield.
which is actually another World War II battlefield.
Okay.
Is that the alternate title?
Yes.
Another World War II battlefield.
Yes. Yeah, I have not played it that much, to be honest. I probably put a couple hours in, and I pretty much there's this little intro thing they do in the beginning where you kind of play through a minute of I think the lives of the people that the story missions follow. But it's basically just to show you all the different environments and stuff, and then it I don't know, says some stuff about the war. It's supposed to be touching or whatever, and then it just brings you a menu, and then you can play the usual modes, which it has a campaign mode, but it's just like the war stories mode of Battlefield 1, where they're all short individual campaigns, except I think they're longer than the Battlefield 1 ones, but there's less of them. I don't know. I'm not interested in that. I'm not
You're there
interested in
for the
playing story
multiplayer.
missions in Battlefield games
Yeah.
or Call of Duty anymore. I just play multiplayer. But haven't tried out Grand Operations yet. That's supposed to be the operations mode in Battlefield 1 where you play multiple battles in a row. And it takes about an hour to finish a game, I guess.
Interesting.
But that mode was super cool in Battlefield 1, and I heard it's even better now. But I did play quite a few rounds of Conquest, which is the traditional Battlefield game. It's 32 versus 32. It's massive. It really feels like you're on a battlefield. They nail the I mean, it's a good-looking game. There's some weird, oddly unpolished parts of it. I feel like the animation's janky sometimes. But it does look really nice. They have like this awesome tall grass actually on the maps, and you can hide in it very effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've taken out like whole squads just like hiding in the grass and popping up. And like the destruction's really amped up again like it used to be, so that really adds to the fun. Like back in like Battlefield like Bad Company 2 and then like Battlefield 4, you could level whole buildings.
3 as well, yeah.
3, I think you
You
get.
see Brian teabagging in the tall grass.
But yeah,
That's what I would do.
That part's awesome. A new thing they added is you can actually build fortifications now.
Oh.
So you can like throw up sandbags and stuff.
So
at
interesting.
at
So
a,
original.
control point.
I'm
I've never heard of that before in a
I'm
game.
just picturing like a trooper like running around, but they've got a sandbag on their back that they can deploy at will.
Just one. It actually
Or like 7, like they've got like 500 pounds of sandbags in their backpack.
yeah, it's a bit unrealistic.
You just have the
That's
empty
fine.
bags. You have to like tap X to like shovel all the sand into them, and then you like lay them
Just a
out.
quick time event for filling
Yeah.
bags. Yeah.
Can you dump a bag on someone to kill them?
Yeah, you can actually hoist it up with a rope, and then it's
You
like
got-
a
no,
Hitman thing.
Yeah, you're joking, but this is Hitman to a T right here. You can carry. I'm sure if they had sandbags, you would be able to carry them.
Yeah, they did like a lot of like smaller changes to the Battlefield formula like that I mean I think are overall beneficial though. They sped up the gameplay a little bit. Like I feel like you move and like mantle and like go prone and stuff a lot quicker.
Yeah.
The weapons have a pretty good feel, but they still have like a ton of recoil like they always do. Yeah, I don't know. It's Battlefield. I need to play it more to get a better opinion of it, to be honest.
So
But
you're playing on Origin Access Premier.
yeah, I tried it out that way because
Which is it's the $15 a month you
yeah,
pay to
or
EA,
$100 for the whole year, which I think I might do.
and you
because-
get access to all of the new games that come out earlier than anybody else.
yeah, the full game.
The full game. It's not just a trial, because there's also the $5 a month or $30 a year or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
something like
That's
that,
the
which
basic.
is you get like a 10-hour trial of all the games
Yeah.
earlier than.
That's about as long as I play most EA games.
yeah.
Well, then you're good.
Yeah.
And you still get access to the vault with that, actually.
Yeah, and they have like a backlog of a bunch of older games, Dead Space and
I
Lost
just-
Planet and stuff
I
like
just
that.
All-
want Anthem.
Yeah, they have all of the Dragon Age games on there, all the Mass Effect
Mass Effect.
games.
It doesn't seem like a great way to make money. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
I know, but I want to
But
take
it is.
advantage of it
But
because
it
I
is,
don't
and I'll
want
tell you
them.
why. Because most people aren't going to pay for the full year. They're going to sign up for the monthly thing, and they're going to fucking forget about it. And it's just
Mhm.
going to keep dinging their credit card like
Yeah.
a gym membership.
That'll probably happen to me.
but still, like,
Because that's what happened to me with Xbox Game Pass. Because I completely forgot I even signed up for the trial,
Hey,
and
you know,
then it was
Hitman's
just
free on that.
I don't have it anymore. This when I remembered that I signed up and forgot when I saw the credit card thing ding my card, and I was like what the fuck? And then I was like, oh shit, and then went in and turned it off. Anyways, that's what they're counting on, is people signing up and forgetting about it. Because I'm
Yeah.
assuming the year thing also has an auto renew too. I don't know.
Probably.
but even then, that's like $100. That's
It's well
But think
worth
about it.
Two-
What does a
that's
normal
2.5
person?
games,
Yeah, but
like-
that's what a normal person would pay for a game. Anyways, like that's like your average EA person's buying Battlefield once a year. That's they're gonna buy that deluxe edition that's $99 anyways. So why not?
You
You
get
know?
the deluxe edition with the EA or
And
your access.
the same, like with Xbox Game Pass, like even if you were paying the full price of $10 per month, like two $60 games gets you there. If I was
Yeah.
gonna get Forza Horizon 4 and State of Decay 2,
Crackdown 3.
no, but
State of Decay 2 isn't $60.
okay, then what was the other like actual
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves and Forza Horizon 4? Then I'm paid for the whole thing, but then I also have access to 98 other games.
I mean, I think it sounds.
It's
like
great
it
for the
sounds
consumer.
Like a great value. I'm wondering the business model. It's like Netflix. I'm like, how are you people making money?
Well,
it's
it
the
must work
idea.
because
You have
everyone's
to be
doing
making
it.
It's
money.
that whole idea of like games as a service, and like most games are basically subscription deals now anyway. So like, why not just make all of your games a subscription deal?
I mean,
I think it's
it's-
brilliant as a business standpoint, and it's a great deal for consumers too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's like I'm just so used to how things usually work that I'm like, the wheels are spinning. I'm like, okay, how are you making money?
Oh, you mean that thing where like you exchange money for an actual physical like product? That doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like,
We're not actually here. This isn't physical.
This is.
either.
Oh my god, is this the fake news too?
this is.
Take me back to Hitman levels. That's all real. I'm gonna go throw up.
Well, the other thing is with Xbox Game Pass, they don't give you any of the DLC for those games, but you can buy it.
Okay.
But even if you buy it, you might not own the game if you let your subscription lapse. So you can still give them more money, but
Yeah, it's that whole thing where they say like rich people can pay more taxes if they want to. You can if you want.
Any other Battlefield thoughts?
I hope some people I know get it because it's way more fun to
Is there a
play in
hacker
a
mode?
squad. There's not.
There's no drones or
Actually, I don't think they have a commander
Alex
mode
isn't
this
getting it.
time either, which is surprising.
I think the
Lame.
last one I played was Hardline.
Yeah,
Well, that had hacker mode.
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah.
They just need
was
like
glorious.
they need like some form of scout mode where
They need
Alex's
a guy in a
character
hot
can
air
kind of
balloon.
can just
Yeah.
go up in a hot air balloon or
That
like
was
a
Zeppelin.
or get lifted in like a weather balloon up into the air and he can
Battlefield
just
Civil War. Yeah. They had hot air balloons in Civil War.
hell yeah.
All
Beautiful.
of the
insane.
previous Battlefield games are part of that Origin Access as well,
God,
including all the content, like
Yeah,
the
you
premiere
get everything with
content.
them.
Like from Hardline
Yeah, Hardline is part of it, except we got it for $2, so we own that shit.
for $2.
But now I have the DLC as well.
that's nuts.
Anyways,
All
Alex, what's up with Tetris Effect?
Tetris Effect is it's Tetris,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
it's $40, and that might sound like a lot, but it's a pretty incredible game. Like,
If you ever want to get your money's worth out of a game, Tetris is a good one.
yeah, and the thing about
Unlimited
it is,
replayability.
so there's what you call the Journeys mode, which has like a progression through like 20 something levels.
They only play Steve Perry.
Yeah, it's just Don't Stop Believing on repeat, and it speeds up as you clear lines. No, that's not
Yeah.
true. But
Fake news.
the conceit of it all is that these stages all, like, as you you got to clear a certain number of lines to get to the next stage, and once you do that, like, as you're clearing more lines, the tempo of the songs change that are playing in the level. Like, everything,
It goes from the standard "Don't Stop Believing" to the club remix.
Dude, don't stop me now.
yeah, that's the secret level. But the like, every button that you push has some type of effect on the musical track in Tetris Effect. So you'll be getting like little accents of the song that's playing as you're spinning things or
Like
throwing them
records.
down into the, like, record scratches or like hi-hat hits or like whatever, depending on what the level is, it changes. And not only all of that, but you can also play it in VR. And it's a pretty incredible experience.
You're gonna need to describe that.
So
Yeah.
well, you're looking at like a floating Tetris column in space in front of you, but
Okay.
all around you is like whales swimming by and like sea noises and like, or the one that's in the snow. Yeah, exactly. It's the whale from The Simpsons. But
Or is it like Star Trek 4?
that too. But yeah, but basically, like, all of the different levels have these completely different like sense experiences to them, and they're beautiful to look at and very relaxing to play in some cases. Sometimes they get very stressful when the
Are
tempo
they
kicks up.
distracting? Are they too beautiful?
It makes me sad that I can't look away from the
Yeah.
Tetris column because I want to look at, but they do have like this is just the like experience the levels mode where you can just turn it on and like be in it and not
Free
play
mode.
Tetris.
Oh my God.
On top of that, they also have like weekly rituals that they do on Saturday, and like, so there's like worldwide events of like, we want everybody who owns Tetris Effect to help clear 1 million lines this weekend.
Wow.
So then you contribute to that goal, and then if everybody gets it, then you'll get like a
It gives Russia the nuclear launch
Oh,
codes.
yeah.
Oh.
It's actually the thing that helps you unlock nuclear codes for Fallout 76.
Yeah.
But so you can like contribute to these different modes and like clear all these lines. There's like the chill mode or the marathon mode, like all
Please.
these different modes that have different clear conditions and different things that you got to do. There's like an infection one where there's like it starts you off with a bunch of blocks and you have to clear the ones that are like dark purple, and you have to clear enough of them to continue on, and like stuff like that. So, all in all, like, yeah, it is Tetris and it's $40, but like Tetris is a fucking amazing game. and you can play it outside of VR as well. And, you know, the VR itself is an interesting and fun experience, but Tetris is Tetris in VR or out of VR, and it's beautiful in either way as well. It's 4K or 1080p Tetris with beautiful backgrounds and a fantastic soundtrack. So I think if you like Tetris, it's worth checking out, and it's a lot of fun. And also there's some weird secret condition where you can get a level to show up that just makes it sound and look like the Game Boy Tetris 1989. I don't know how to do that yet. It apparently like randomly unlocks sometimes on the weekends if you contribute to the weekly ritual, or there's some other thing you can do. I assume you have to finish the journey mode on expert, which doing it on normal was enough of a problem for me, so I'm never gonna do it on expert.
I'm really bad at Tetris.
So it's a fantastic game. It's nice to have a good version of Tetris that people are actually they enjoy, because I know when Tetris Worlds came out 10, 15 years ago, people were like, this is the worst version of Tetris ever, which is dumb.
Because it's
the
same game.
Yeah, well, it's the same game, but there's
different flavors to it.
It's when you talk about a game that people have very, very specific feelings on the mechanics and how spinning. The thing that ruined it was that you could continually spin the piece at the bottom of the as it fell. You could keep spinning it until you found a spot to put it in Tetris Worlds, which is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And that goes away in this one. But
I kind of count on that.
you can still do that a little bit, but there's a timer to it.
Okay.
So, but it's really good, and people should check it out if they like Tetris.
I picked it up, and I'll give my thoughts on it probably next episode. So.
Good.
Can you hide in tall grass?
There's no tall grass. Well, there's probably a level with tall grass.
Tall grass Tetris.
All right, that's 3 for 3.
Virtual reality, tall grass.
Yes.
3 for 3 on the tall grass so far.
If you crouch down in real life, you can hide in the grass.
You know what else
That's
has
true.
some tall grass? Is Pokemon Let's Go.
Right.
Tall grass.
Oh,
That
shit. Nice
transaction.
segue.
That was really good.
And so does Fallout 70. Oh, no.
No, it's not.
Anyways, so Alex got me Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and he picked up Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu for himself using my Gamers Club Unlocked account.
For your birthday.
For my birthday,
then-
and he sent me the receipt to my email.
Whoops.
Basically, it is exactly like Red, Blue, and Yellow from the OG Game Boy version of Pokemon, but for the Switch, with beautiful 3D graphics and great remastered music. They've changed the Pokemon catching mechanic to where the Pokemon all walk around and you can just run up to them, and it's literally like playing Pokemon Go on your phone, but in the old Pokemon game.
Okay, so real quick, is there still actual battling, or is this
Yes,
just Pokemon?
there is.
Okay.
They've added battling, so you can still run into trainers that are in the world and fight them with your Pokemon.
But
you
not
don't-
battling wild Pokemon.
Yes.
You don't have to battle the wild Pokemon.
Gojo's out.
That's like somehow casual Pokemon. To me.
It
I'll let
is.
you
Well,
finish.
they've combined. They basically combined OG Pokemon with Pokemon Go to make a game that's accessible for both markets, and they do it really well. But it definitely is kind of it's one of the things I miss, because catching Pokemon in Pokemon Go is kind of boring. You swipe the screen and throw a Pokeball or whatever, and in this, you're kind of doing the same thing, but you'll still run into Pokemon. I found a Pikachu right away, and he was very difficult to catch.
That's a shame. I caught one for you. I guess I'll just throw it out.
Yeah. Anyways,
Get in the garbage.
Put it on
It's,
the street.
Drop a sandbag on it.
instead of beating
Drown
up
it
a
in its own
Pokemon, a wild Pokemon, until it's weak enough for you to actually catch,
Seems
you no longer
mean.
have to do that. You do the same thing you do in Pokemon Go, which you throw berries at it to make it so it will stick around, and then you throw a Pokeball.
So it's
at
like
it.
a Care Bear Pokemon.
Sure, yeah, whatever.
What control were you using?
I'm using the handheld mode.
Okay.
I have not used any of the motion controls yet. I will eventually, but because I was playing it last night while drunk, playing Rainbow Six with you guys. So,
Yes.
which is why I was dying I was dying on purpose so I could go back to play Pokemon. I was pretty drunk.
So I was playing with Nicole earlier because what happens is after like the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, you can just pick up another controller and shake it, and then it'll add a support trainer,
Really?
which
Oh,
also
cool.
goes around with you. Mainly what that does is when you're going to catch Pokemon, if you synchronize your throw, you'll have a better chance at catching the Pokemon.
That's cool.
And then also you'll get more experience from catching it to help level up your Pokemon.
So
Cool.
you're at a disadvantage playing
two
alone.
Pokeballs throwing in and hitting the same Pokemon, and then it like rips the Pokemon in half and stores
Yeah,
half
pretty
in each
much.
ball.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's worse than poisoning someone with frog.
Or dropping a sandbag on
So
them.
Yeah.
and then it also allows you to fight 2-on-1 with the other trainers that you run into.
That's
So
kind of a dick move. Then.
yeah, but it's great because we just fucking destroyed some bug Pokemon in the forest.
yeah,
Good.
But
overall, it is regular Pokemon. Like it is a modernized Pokemon from like again the OG blue, red, and yellow versions that came out before. My only gripes are that I feel the battle animations are too long, which I think you can speed them up in the settings if I'm not mistaken,
Maybe.
or like get rid of the cutscene style battles, which are cool still, but the battle sequence of like selecting what you're doing is too slow for me because I like when I already have my methodology picked out for a particular Pokemon,
yeah.
I want to speed through it and just like beat the shit out of the Pokemon I'm fighting. And you can't really do that. It's like you got to tap and then wait for the animation to switch and tap again and then switch the animation and then it's go time and then they fight and then it's like all over again.
Yeah.
So that's just a little weird tick of mine that like I want to play it faster and I can't.
I'm also kind of okay with the no wild battles because I don't really want to grind in a Pokemon game that much anymore. Like, it's cool and all, and I'll probably do it when the new Pokemon for Switch comes out because this is like, they're like, hey, hold on, we're still putting out a Pokemon, but this was easy.
This is gonna sell Switches. Like
Oh,
that's
I think
that's
so.
the sole purpose of this is because the crowd of people playing Pokemon Go are a different crowd of people playing games. And like they're gonna be like, oh, you mean I can get better shit out of this game if I pair it with my Pokemon Go account?
Yeah.
Which you can. You get like different
Whoa.
candies and like Pokeballs and whatever.
Oh,
like you
man.
get there's a bonus to linking your accounts. So it's going to sell systems. That's why they made this. And that's a good on them, especially around the holiday season, because how many kids are going to ask for like the Pokemon version of Switch or like the Fortnite version or whatever.
Yep.
God only knows how many of the Smash Brothers Switches have sold.
Yeah.
But it's meant to sell systems, and it's gonna do exactly that.
They should just put Hitman on Switch.
That would be cool.
Switch.
No,
Man.
yeah, it's good to hear that there's like, I mean, I don't want to condemn it without actually experiencing it, but like a real Pokemon. I know, yeah, not that I'm so married to battling wild Pokemon, but just what I've heard sounds like kind of a watered down.
It is.
Not that
It
there's-
definitely
you know,
is.
Not that Pokemon is the hardiest game experience to begin with, so it just seems like it's a little more catered to the mobile crowd, I guess. Would you say maybe?
Yes. I mean,
Okay. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, I don't want to condemn mobile gaming, but it's just not for me. So, because I don't want to go anywhere.
I don't think it'll be for. You're not. I'm not. Like I was gonna say for the hardcore Pokemon gamer, but you're not a hardcore Pokemon gamer.
Hell yeah, I am.
It's just it is a simpler version of the game, but I think it's pretty elegant and it's kind of an awesome nostalgia trip for those of us who played.
yeah, when
those
you play the original one,
games.
because it's literally the same map layout as the
Mhm.
original one, and
The
it's all
trainers are all in the exact same spots.
same
Is
positions.
there
like
still the kid who likes shorts? That
I
was his,
haven't
that was his
run
thing.
into
Like he's a
somebody.
trainer, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Hi, I like shorts. They're comfortable and
I
easy to wear." I'm like,
assume.
I don't fucking
John's
care.
in this
Kid,
game?
get out of my way.
I assume that'll happen.
I
Did
am-
he,
I
did
am
he
in the
have
game.
shitty sneakers on?
I mean, he was like this big and made up of like
Yeah, his sneakers
12
were just like
pixels,
8
so-
pixels.
Obnoxious
apiece.
Yeah.
sneakers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
his
Obnoxious.
pictures. His
Shitty shorts.
sneakers
yeah,
were
my
5
shoes
black
are not
pixels
shitty.
on
My
Game Boy.
shoes are obnoxious. They're not shitty though.
But
But yeah, it's cool. It's Pokemon is what it is, and it's literally as if they took Pokemon Go and combined it with OG Pokemon and gave it a beautiful facelift that is a much better looking game than Pokemon originally was.
I'm interested to see how I feel about the price of it in the end. Like, I'm not convinced it's a $60 game as of yet, but I could get there. Like, I don't know how much of the Elite Four is there and like gym trainers and stuff like that. Like, I know the gyms are in there.
Yeah,
But-
and I don't remember. I thought I read somewhere or heard about how like you, when you're fighting, like there's like when you get to the Elite Four or when you're fighting any of the Pokemon Masters, you become a master of their like particular. I don't remember exactly how it works. There's more. There's more of an end game to this than the original Pokemon had. Which when you get to the end of it, then it's just like, okay, go collect them all. You know.
So you beat the Elite Four, and then you just have to wait at the end of the Elite Four for other trainers to come and fight you. Like, that's your job now.
Yeah, like you
That'd
are
be perfect.
Yes,
You're
you
Stay
are
in
the
this
master.
room
master.
until Gary comes back and tries to beat you.
Yep.
Did you
Gary
Did you
Busey?
name the rival Gary?
No, I named him Goober.
Okay, I named him Gary.
I named him Balls once, and I laughed every time. Literally every time.
All right.
So, let's talk Fallout 76. I wanted to save this to the end because I figured it's a bigger deal.
We did already declare there's tall grass in this, though.
Yeah,
There's
to some
more
extent.
grass than other
There's
Fallout
plenty of
games.
foliage.
Yeah.
I mean,
You would-
we've already agreed that. I mean, there's obviously tall grass in Pokemon
Yes.
because
Yeah.
that's the whole point.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So are we 5 for 5 on the tall grass?
Yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna name the episode 97 Tall Grass.
Tall Grass.
Tall grass is the new dark corners.
97. Wow.
Yeah.
This game is better than I expected it to be. It is exactly what I wanted out of Fallout 4.
Hmm.
I'm going to put it that way. And the reason being is I hate base management garbage. And Fallout 4 was all base management to me. And in this, I feel like the base management is completely optional.
Yeah.
Like, so optional. Because the only reason you're making your own base is so you have a place to sleep and a place to make food everywhere
and
you
store
go.
all your shit.
And store your crap, because you need to store crap constantly. You should be scrapping everything you collect constantly because you're going to need it for other shit. I've run into a couple of small bugs, which who cares? It's pretty standard for Bethesda. We've all discussed this. But this game, Alex and I played today for a little bit. He helped me do a quick mission. The only downside to that was some of the items in the world are instanced to your character
Yeah.
only, and others are open for pretty much everyone, which is kind of a bummer.
It was really weird. Like there was a recipe sitting on a table that I picked up, and John could not get it. And I was like, that seems really strange. It
But then
shouldn't work that way.
But then we both walk up to an ammo box and have two different types of ammo in them for each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Weird.
so
Like-
some things
Oh.
some things are instanced to you and others aren't. Like,
I don't,
whatever.
I don't understand the heart. Like I assume, like obviously, like, important quests and things like that, it's probably instanced. But like
Right.
when you're just out there doing random stuff here and there, it seems kind of fast and loose with that.
But I don't hate VATS, but I think the game being without a time-stopping, limb-choosing VATS system is more suited for a PC format as opposed to a controller. I would love to play it with a mouse and keyboard. That would be awesome,
Mhm.
especially building shit. Building with a mouse and keyboard is so much easier than building with a controller. It's beautiful. I think it's a fantastic-looking game. We talked in our chat on Discord about how Forbes, I don't even know if it was Paul Tassi or who from Forbes, put up an article saying that Bethesda needs to update their engine, and Jason Schreier from Kotaku came out and rebutted that, saying that, like, I don't think you understand what an engine is, and then broke down what exactly an engine is. And then some stupid YouTuber moron came out and was like, I don't think Jason Schreier knows what he's talking about. And it's like, you are a fucking idiot YouTuber, and he is Jason Schreier, editor-in-chief of Kotaku, like online blog, video game magazine, whatever you want to call him. Pretty sure he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, all the other gaming press quotes shit he does.
Yeah, because
says.
he's literally
he's
the
no big
best.
deal.
He's literally the best gaming journalist that we have.
But I'm sure this YouTuber has made several games. He's made several.
He probably
AAA
has
games
like
himself.
2,000 subscribers.
Dude's so annoying. Anyways, the whole point of that was, the argument was saying that Bethesda's engine is like dated and garbage, and it's not. Like, it is still a fully functional working engine that they are comfortable using in order to make things happen very quickly for them, as well as the giant modding community that exists. This game's beautiful. It looks great. It looks better than I remember Fallout 4 looking. I'm not disappointed in how it looks.
I think flat out it does look better, and some of it might be the fact that you're playing with a lot more foliage and stuff like that, since it's
Yeah.
closer to the bombs closer to when the bombs dropped and the earth isn't like scorched and like the blight hasn't
Right.
grown and stuff like that. So,
but yeah, it's a great looking game. The sound is awesome. Great sound design. Good little music hits every once in a while that kind of creep in while you're playing.
I've had some weird instances of like hearing footsteps, and I don't understand if they're supposed to be mine or if it's just someone else. That
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think-
see.
Maybe someone's following you.
Well, I think some of that,
Stealth boy.
some of the
They're in the tall grass.
the
Obviously.
directional audio kind of messes with you a little bit.
Mhm.
Like that's could be one of those buggy things that's
Yeah.
in there. Is like I've had the same thing where I'm like, is somebody around me or am I like hearing my own footsteps? Like I don't know. And
like,
I'm playing
are my footsteps delayed?
right,
Like,
and
yeah.
I've been playing with my 5.1 soundbar, like the whole setup, so I can actually have directional audio, and like it is awesome. Like the audio is incredible, but you run into those instances of that sort of thing happening where you're like, am I being followed or like where is that mongrel
Yeah.
coming from? Like I
Yeah.
can't really tell. So I feel like they maybe need to tweak that audio a little bit. But standard menu issues, like their menu system sucks. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, they should have redone that.
Um,
Redid it.
The
They
perk
should have redone that.
the perk system is actually kind of cool now. I like the cards, the way they work.
I'm still learning about that, but
I
it
don't
seems
I don't quite understand
interesting.
exactly how they
Yeah.
work, but as you put perks, like as you buy or like get perk cards, it's like they're adding extra perk points so you can then start stacking perk cards onto the particular special
Yeah.
attributes, which is kind of cool. You get a whole bunch of different perk cards to choose from. If you get duplicates, you can combine them to level them up,
Mhm.
which is really cool. The
You can
crafting,
probably spend money to get no, I don't know.
you might be able to buy perk cards. I don't know, loot box, whatever.
Shark cards.
Yes.
The armor and like weapon crafting is exactly what it was in Fallout 4, so no different there, as far as I can tell at least. Overall I thought I was going to be really disappointed in this game, and I'm actually really enjoying it. And I like the fact that I don't I've run into, besides Alex, maybe 6 other players, and they didn't like. I had like 1 or 2 guys try to fight me, and I was too low level for them to actually fight me, but they were shooting at me, so didn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't understand if the shooting is supposed like if the PvP
when you
is
hit
like,
level 5, PvP opens up. So,
interesting.
but the game is much better than I expected it to be, and I'm really looking forward to playing a lot more of it, especially with other people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I ended up caving and I did buy it, and I'm optimistic of what it will become and exactly what it is, but I need to play it some more and really figure out exactly, because like I've found out that one of the things that I feel like I hated the most about Fallout 4 is that I didn't feel like any of the weapons were cool. Like the weapons in Fallout 3, the Gauss rifle looks awesome. And when you look at the Gauss rifle in Fallout 4 and it's just like something somebody made at the lumber store, like it's disappointing. So like I don't know if I'll end up finding weapons that I think look sweet and that I want to use. Like I get it. It's like you're crafting them all together so they should look kind of ramshackle, and it's the
Yeah.
apocalypse, but like
yeah, but even
eventually
like,
you're gonna find something like actual military, and
well, so I've got a 10
It'll be
millimeter,
awesome.
which is the standard 10 millimeter.
yeah.
I put a longer barrel on it. It has great distance on it now. The short hunting rifle is awesome.
Pretty sweet.
I like that. Alex, I know you're a stickler for like guns not feeling like pea shooters. That short hunting rifle, if you've got a sound system on, you feel that
Yeah,
shit
the
fire.
the
like
shooting feels good. For Fallout shooting.
Yeah.
I want to qualify
well,
it a
so
little bit.
well, we should.
You mean it doesn't feel like Doom 2016?
No,
Correct.
we should clarify the VATS system and how it works. Like now, it's basically just an auto aim. So like you click to turn on VATS, your AP starts going down automatically. You can then fire on them, and it automatically hits, like based on the percentage.
I haven't even used VATS yet, which is weird.
It's actually
How do you? What button is
it's
it?
R1.
Okay.
When you're that's the thing is like
You have
when
your
I'm
weapon out.
when I'm sneaking around, and my hidden goes to caution. I know something's in the area, and every time you tap it takes a little bit of AP away.
Yeah.
So you can't just spam R1 to like figure out where shit is, because it actually
That's
things
how it was before.
shit's really hard to see. Like it's
Yeah.
hard to find even the robots. Like we've run into how many Mr. Handys like running around. Like they're hard to like see because of the like. I don't know if it's because they're reflecting the light differently off
the
of
tall
the
grass?
foliage. It's got to be the tall grass.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tall
That's what
grass
it's,
around.
that's what it's there for.
Yeah, but it's the VAT system works really well for what it is. I just feel like it's more suited for like a mouse and keyboard sort of setup than a controller. It made sense when you had the VATs that stop time and you could pick limbs and everything, which you can get a perk card that allows you to focus on limbs if you want to, but I haven't tried that yet to see how it works. But it's I found that running around with a machete is like way easier in terms of like just being ready for combat. And
Yeah.
then if for some reason like I feel like I have a leg up on someone, like I've run into a few different bands of scorchers where from a distance with that hunting rifle, like that thing, like you can just headshot him
work.
from across the map with that guy.
Yeah.
Like
That sounds like it. It sounds like it was just added for the sake of still having VATs. The way you describe it, like they didn't want to remove it because it feels like a part of the Fallout experience now.
And it is like it's part of like that's part of like what having a Pip-Boy allows you to do is
Yeah.
it allows you to use VATs because you have the Pip-Boy. So they're still doing that, but they're using it in a manner that doesn't stop the rest of the game.
It's also like a weird tacit admission of like we know our shooting kind of sucks, so we kind of want to
Well-
give you a little bit of a.
Yeah, I mean, well, the VATS was originally introduced because they wanted Fallout 3 to have a little more of an RPG feel than shooter feel,
and the
it
shooting
just
sucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually they got to the place where the shooting was okay, but still keep VATS because it's not great. And now that, but if you're not stopping time, yeah, VATS kind of seems like we're just having VATS because
it's in name only.
Yeah, because we should still have VATS, either lore wise or that's what fans expect.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty awesome. They've got a huge update happening tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So we'll see what that actually does. I don't know if they're going to release notes for that or not, but it definitely has bugs. I've run into a few. They're not terrible. I had one of them actually break the game a little bit where I had to restart.
That sounds terrible.
But
You
it
said
wasn't.
not
Bethesda game,
terrible.
too.
But-
I just had to restart my entire
But it's not
game.
like I was in the middle of like a mission and like had to stop and
But
like
what if that did happen in the middle
maybe
of a mission?
maybe it can in the future, but I didn't have that issue. I don't think it's as bad as I've had worse issues in Skyrim.
Yeah.
I've had bigger problems to deal with in older Bethesda games than what this was.
Yeah, I was playing Skyrim on PS3 when it was broken, so I feel like
you were able to actually play it.
well, play. I put play in quotation marks. The only other things that I would say, I remember from what Alan said on the beta, and I wonder if his opinion has changed a little bit, but like the fact that there were no humans was weird to me, and that it's just a lot of robots was strange. But the fact that like when you see a person running around, it's a person, does feel like it has more weight to it than I thought it would. Like the idea that there are no NPC humans, that it is just the people out there are other people playing, feels pretty interesting and unique, and it kind of works with the conceit of like you're the first vault opening and like pretty much everybody around you is melted from the.
So, are
from
there
the
any
bombs.
ghouls?
There
yeah,
are
there's
ghouls.
feral ghouls, and there's the
okay.
Scorched are
The
basically
Scorched.
they would be what I would consider a lesser version of, not a feral ghoul, but not like a fully.
Can they talk?
They talk and they communicate with each other, and
Okay.
like they're a much more organized type of ghoul,
They use guns. They shoot
yeah,
at you.
and they're not entirely stupid. So,
Do they travel single file to hide their numbers?
no,
maybe?
they
No.
not that I noticed at
Okay.
least. But one of the things I did want to mention about that particular, like, not, there's no humans, you're only dealing with robots thing. The holotapes.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a dumb way to progress things, but it actually works really well because you pick up a holotape and they instantly start playing instead of you having to go into your menu and pick
Okay.
them.
Like
And-
BioShock.
Yeah, so like
Okay.
it starts playing right away. You're listening. While you're listening, you can keep exploring and doing things, and it feels like somebody's talking to you and telling you. So it's you're
So you
still
don't get as lonely as you thought you would.
But that's the thing is like I kind of like the loneliness of this game particularly, but this just it feels like it was thought out a little bit better because they wanted to keep you in the game instead of pulling you out to like start up a holotape and
Yeah,
like
how many-
Making you sit there
Yeah.
in your Pip-Boy because you were in the middle of talking to somebody when you picked up a holotape that you really wanted to listen to. Like,
Right.
you don't have to do that anymore because there's nobody you're
And how many of
interacting
them
with.
did you just skip in old games? Because I don't want to go through the fucking
right.
Pip-Boy
And like
to listen to
the
this,
main quest line where you're trying to track down the overseer from your vault is like it's all told through holotapes. So like each point in the quest you're picking up a new holotape and you literally just have to grab that one holotape and then go about your business. And that it works. Like it works really well. And it's something that again I thought it was going to be awful, but it just like because of the way they integrated it in a way that doesn't pull you from the game, it's exactly what you want it to be. So I really like this Fallout. I actually think I'm probably gonna like this more than I like Fallout 4.
Okay.
Strictly because the base management is again not required. The only thing I'm not a
You can
huge
take it with you too, right?
yeah, you can pack up your camp and take it anywhere on the map as long as there's an open space for you to do it. The only other thing I'm not a huge fan of, but I kind of get, is the survivalist style of gameplay where you have to feed yourself
Yeah.
and like drink water all the time. I don't like having to micromanage that kind of crap, but
I
there's
like that.
It's not as bothersome as it feels in other games.
I played that mode in New
it's-
Vegas.
New Vegas had that.
it's pretty forgiving in terms of the amount of time you have. Whereas
Red
like
Dead.
in a game like Don't Starve, like those clocks
You're
are
always
ticking.
starving.
Yeah, those clocks tick very fast as compared to this one. And there's all kinds of different, like you can pick up gum that you can chew to like satiate your hunger and thirst so that it takes longer for those meters to go down and things like that. So there's ways around that. You can get perk cards that make it so you don't get hungry as fast, or when you do eat something, it keeps you satiated
Stomach
longer.
staple perk.
Yeah, the bariatric bypass or whatever,
Yeah.
like the bariatric bypass
I
card.
could just see
Get
that in
only
my
fancy
head.
lads snack cakes.
Yep.
The Vault Boy depiction of that would be just really funny.
He's just like pinching his stomach closed.
It's like how much time do you guys have in it so far?
20
between
minutes,
both of
right?
us, it's probably like 4 hours tops.
No, I think I played yesterday. I played Friday night for about 2 hours, and I didn't play it yesterday at all. Actually, I played it today for about 4, so maybe
Okay.
6 hours or so.
I feel like I'm at like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
I'm incredibly antisocial. So the thing for me is basically I'm worried some douchebags online are just going to be miserable and ruin my game experience.
Well, and a lot of what the like people online have already broken the game, but I think it's mainly PC. If you're playing on console, I don't think you're going to have any of the trolling bullshit that the people on PC are having.
Less of it anyway.
A lot less of it, because on PC they figure out a way to someone made a cipher to like a way to decipher the launch codes for nukes. Like they made a program that does it randomly. Like you give them like a set of the launch codes that you have, and it'll find the rest of them for you, and then it's just trial and error in doing it to launch nukes.
The launch codes are supposed to change every week. So
yeah, so somebody figured that crap out. What was one of the other things that we had pulled up about the game that's bad?
there was one thing you couldn't delete the game. If you had the beta, you couldn't delete it because you had to own the game in order to interact with it in the Bethesda launcher.
Yep, the progress you made in the beta does carry over to the real game, which is
really?
cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
So Alan, who is installing the full game right now, as he said in the chat, is going to be able to pick up where he left off in the beta, which is pretty sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, I was slightly reluctant when they announced it. I got really excited about it, and then all these bad stories came out about it in the news, and I was just like, I don't care, and I canceled my pre-orders. I'm really happy I went out and bought it because I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I really do. I mean, if you don't want to pay full price for it, I get it. If anybody wants to use my Gamers Club Unlock, let me know. But you can, it's way more fun than I was expecting.
Cool.
I'm interested in figuring out what it is still. It still feels like a bit of a mystery to me exactly what it is meant to be. But it's
I'm not sure they know.
well, yeah, and that's what's interesting to
That's
me.
what
So
it is.
getting in at the ground level and maybe seeing where it ends up in a couple months might be an interesting.
I like
journey.
it way better than Elder Scrolls Online. So
I never tried it, so I can't really.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls Online it's like you took the exact two opposite kinds of RPGs and made them the same game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it didn't click for me. So, but
Very
I mean,
social too. probably.
yeah, hard pass on that. Yeah, 76 looks like it's a Fallout game, like hard stop, but also online.
Yeah.
Which
It works a little better.
yeah,
They mesh together better.
you pick one and then add elements of the other.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just want a private server option, so I can just play with people I know, like invite only kind of thing.
well, Alex easily joined my game.
Yeah, it was easy to link up with John. Like when I started
No, I
up,
get that.
Yeah,
just
but-
probably
I
not
don't
having to worry about.
Yeah,
Well,
I
here's
don't
the
want to
thing.
play with.
I
dickbag
loaded into his
strangers.
game and I had no idea where he was.
Mm.
But you could go and open up the menu and hit fast travel, and you'll go right to where they are.
Yeah.
But in terms of like whoever else is in that, like I imagine once I've experienced
It's like
more
you don't
of
really
the world,
know until you run into them. They're not
Yeah.
on the map or anything.
I think earlier on, because everybody's starting the game right now, you'll run into the people that try to shoot you, but eventually it's gonna be like,
Yeah.
all right,
I mean, the game's huge, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Like 4 times the size of Fallout
It
4's
is
map. I think.
it is massive. Like the scope of the world you're in is huge.
I still haven't even seen all of Fallout 4's
Yeah.
map.
But I also like I just saw the title. I didn't actually read the article, but one of the Forbes writers was saying that this game really needs a single player mode. Like they don't want to play online at all, that kind of thing. I don't know if it's because they're playing on PC and people are trolling them. Like I haven't run into any issues really with like I've run into other players. Alex teabagged me for 20 minutes. Like,
Are you
While-
sure that wasn't Rainbow Six?
while I was sleeping, my
It was
guy was
both.
like in the bed and he's on top of the bed teabagging over my face. Like
Yeah, brotherly love.
yeah, so it's I don't think it needs it would be cool to have like if you could just limit it to your friends, like that would be sweet. I don't
Yeah.
know how they would do it if it's like if
I
it's
heard
like
that
client side,
That's
server
something
side,
they were
like
gonna do at some point.
yeah. So maybe that's part of this update coming on Monday. Who knows? Like
it feels like the people who want to play it strictly single player are kind of you're kind of
You're
missing
missing
the
the point,
point. Like, yes, it is a Fallout game, and there's some story to it, and there's missions for you to do, but like,
I'm hoping there's side missions where it's like, hey, find a random like stranger, like wanderer, and team up with them and do these things.
Help
Like that
them
would it
out,
would be
yeah.
cool to have like maybe there's mission sets of that, but so that it kind of forces you to interact. Or
Maybe an elusive target or two.
well, they do the
Just make the game Hitman.
they do have events of like, all right, kill all the Mr. Handies in the area
Yeah,
have gone
there's-
wild, kill them all.
there are
and
public
reset
events
this,
that
yeah.
that like constantly
Does the
happen.
You have
does
to
the
do it
sky
within a
get
half
really
an hour.
dark and you
No.
hear an ominous sound?
No,
No,
you
actually,
just-
you get an announcement from your Pit Boy radio. Someone
radio
calls
broadcast.
in like
Ah,
reconnaissance, like
okay.
they're hey, we need some help on
Destroy
the
the
farm.
Fallen Walker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fallout
Is-
Destiny.
Is there a robot radio host?
I haven't actually listened to.
No,
much
I
of the
haven't listened to the
radio.
radio. I've just had the ambient music that happens
One dog or two
naturally.
dog?
Yeah, I don't know if
3
one or
dog.
2 dog are there yet.
I mean, it's way too early for 3
Maybe
dog.
just
He's not
dog.
alive
That's
yet.
it was actually 3.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember how many dogs he had in his name.
3 dogs.
It's just 3 of you.
Okay. That guy
Yeah.
was cool.
So, anyways, I hope other people give this game a shot because I think it's pretty cool and I want to play it with more people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe we'll see.
It was on my list for like this time of year, but
Mhm.
there were also like 6 other games on there.
Yeah.
yeah, it's been tough
And-
because we've had a lot of games and like
Yeah.
that's how February is going to be in 2019. There's
Yeah.
so many games dropping in February. It's like what do you want to play? So
Crackdown 3. Well,
I kind of feel. Oh, by the way, Anthem will be part of that.
I know that's why
Origin
I'm
Access
gonna
as well.
I'm gonna sign up for Origin Access.
That's my
first of the year.
$120 worth of games, so I figure I might just pull the trigger on the 100 a year.
There's probably gonna be more Hitman content.
I don't know. I'm
That's
like
why.
really sold on Hitman now. I kind of want to pick that up more than Fallout.
yeah. That's the thing. I
It's-
want to play Hitman. I want to play Pokemon. I want to play Fallout. I want to play Red Dead. Like,
Yeah,
I kind of want to play Red Dead, but
I still
know.
haven't even played through Spider-Man either.
yeah,
Want to
Yeah,
play
that's a
Rainbow
shame.
Six?
John
Spider-Man's
wants to
something
play
you
the
should.
same game.
Yeah. So
I love Rainbow Six. What can I say?
I want to play Lichtspiel.
So
All right.
Anyways, if you want to follow us on social media or see other places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. As always, we do appreciate your feedback, which you can send to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch, as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. We have the Midwest Podcast Network now has a Patreon. The Patreon is meant to benefit all the shows on the network. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month and help keep our shows alive and well. Check it out at patreon.com/MidwestPodnet. That's MidwestPodnet. Thanks again to Jason K. and our good buddy Gojo here for their contributions. And thanks again, Gojo, for coming in and talking about Hitman for us.
Absolutely.
And telling
Hitman correspondent.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hitman correspondent Gojo.
Gojo 47.
Thanks for making me want to spend more money I don't have.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. If you're thinking about Hitman, buy 2016 because it's a lot cheaper. And if you're like, I like this, I want more, then just get Hitman 2.
Yeah.
Or you can borrow my 2016.
You could also do that.
Use
But
my
give these people
Gamers
money.
Club
They need
Unlocked.
it.
Yeah.
I actually
about it.
still have it till I think next year.
I'm good till next August.
Mine's done.
Yeah.
Sad
So,
day.
anyways, thanks again, everybody, for listening in. Next time, what's up next, Alex?
I don't know.
I don't even
Tall
know.
grass.
Figure it out.
Tall Grass, the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only games that
we'll
have
figure it
tall
out.
grass in them.
But yeah, we do appreciate everyone stopping by and listening, and those of you who are in the Twitch, Alan specifically, because he actually was talking to me.
Yeah.
I think the other Twitch person is probably one of you guys. I don't really
Mm.
know. But anyways, thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time. Peace.